would have. I mean, people could see us now, Ryan. But I also don't want to. I don't want to talk about any of that stuff because we get to choose what we talk about. We make the podcast. We do what we want.
It's true, which is why, like, even though it's a slower news weekend, in theory, we could have, we would have taken the lower route to get an additional news story to talk about. It, we were like, I say nay to that notion.
That's right,
Sean, nay to that. Sean, of course, very Canadian today. Sean, do you want to explain to the people?
Canada currently has a penalty kick right now against Belgium in the World Cup, man. We never make it to the World Cup. What is about to happen? I'm watching it on my iPad down here. Ryan, you don't care about any of this, so you should just do the show by yourself.
It's just sports ball, Sean, to me.
It is.
That's all what it is.
Football. Dude, I don't even know what happened. Like, what they must have got taken down in the penalty area in the box, Ryan. Oh my goodness gracious. Hurry up and take the shot. He's just standing there. What's going to happen?
Allow me to go over and rename the stream to Sean, Angry Sean reacts to the World Cup and Canada doing so well.
He saved it. Oh, well. Go Canada. Go blame Canada also. Definitely do both. Blame them and cheer for them.
Yes, exactly. Love them and hate them.
Yes, I showed up with like flags and a Canadians jersey, which is not soccer, it's hockey, but Ryan had no idea.
It's also the Canadians themselves are very French. They're like, in theory, you probably
French Canadian.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sean. Anyways,
they're still part of us, whether they want to be or not. They're still part of our country.
You're not wrong. I can't, exclude them or anything like that. But it's not even like a very traditional jersey. Like it would have made more sense for you to wear like a Team Canada hockey jersey instead.
I don't have one.
Maybe if you actually, really cared about Canada at the World Cup, you would have a Canadian soccer jersey.
I was gonna go get one. I honestly was looking at the clock. I was thinking about.
I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't at this point.
I don't have time for anything, dude. I got zero time to do anything at all. But I got these flags at the dollar store a little while ago, and they've paid off, Ryan.
Look at that. Seth in the chat speaking some French in there. He says "we."
Yes,
Canadians.
He did. Yep.
I mean, we've talked about it before, but the only French I really know is "Je mange la bibliothèque bleue," and that's all I need to know in French.
Yeah, that was words.
Yep. Someone needs to eat the blue library, and that person's me.
I know that sentence makes no sense.
Well,
Deke.
It's fine. Good God.
I want a good ending on this, like we got for the Nintendo Drive. Nobody's noticed Deke, Ryan.
Yeah, that's true. Not even the Deke Corporation has noticed it. They haven't. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't, been copyright stricken.
They don't exist anymore. They're not going to copyright. And we get copyright.
Hold the phone. Someone somewhere owns the rights to Deke.
We get copyright strikes from Save the Game Media, not Deke.
No. We didn't get the copyright strikes from them. We were told by YouTube, hey, by the way, these guys are using your video.
It was the opposite. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was literally the opposite. We can copyright strike them if we want to, Sean. That's what it was.
Let's do it.
No, that's mean, man.
Yes, let's do it.
It's almost like we were like, yes, good. Stream the extra life from your channel so we can take all your ad revenue later from it.
Could we do that?
I mean, we could. I mean, we could. If only we would have been able to convince the trophy room to stream it from there.
Nice cross. Go. Okay, Sean. I only care about Deke. Nobody's exactly. It's for Seth and I. I don't. You know what, man? We're just making the shows for ourselves.
You make it sound like I don't know anything about Deke, Sean, or watching so many cartoons growing up and it being at the end of the cartoon itself.
Oh my gosh, Canada's playing quite well, Ryan. You don't even know.
That doesn't sound like to me from all the yelling you're doing. You're like, oh no, why won't they score goals?
It's 90 minutes, man. You only get one goal per game. Everybody knows this.
It's true.
That's
why I'm secretly hoping some European country takes it instead, Sean.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most horsepowerful podcast on the internet. It's the Xbox Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Ryan Turford, the weatherman on the moose, and on our journey today, it's the Xbox 360 17th birthday, and for some reason we're celebrating that, so jump on into the Xbox Drive if you want. Bah!
No power greater than X.
I can't fault anyone or Ryan in specifically for making the 17th birthday for the Xbox 360 our topic of discussion, I guess, for today, because I'm always saying this show should be different. While everybody else is talking about Activision and Sony and whoever else, who cares about that? We're talking about the glory days of Xbox and some other stuff. So, hey, Ryan, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. Yeah, the glory days of Xbox when Call of Duty had all of the exclusives on Xbox.
That's right.
A long time ago.
Mass Effect.
It's all topical when it comes to it. But again, we have a specific news story that actually relates to the birthday of the Xbox
17.
So that's actually why we pulled it there. Yeah, it's getting ready to graduate high school and going off to college at this point.
It's getting hair in really weird places.
Yep. It also marks, Sean, 2 years since I finished the Roundabout, our Xbox
cool.
show as well, which is just funny to think about. I can't believe it's actually almost been 3 years. It's almost been 3 years since I started it. Mm-hmm. So,
can people find that like on the Patreon as well? I mean, you can search for it in this feed as well, but I wonder if we can. How do we package that?
It's on the Patreon feed and it's on the podcast feed, so it's on both places.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a lot of work that you did.
In theory, we could just download all the MP3s, Sean, and then just smash them all together, and then make just one like giant smash cut of like, here's the 5-hour episode that is.
That'd be cool. Throw timestamps on it. I think that'd be awesome.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I have not addressed this live on the show, Ryan Turford, but on youtube.com/carpoolgaming, I am waving Canadian flags. I am wearing a Montreal Canadiens jersey because this is as close as I can possibly get to getting into the Canadian spirits. Canada is playing Belgium in the World Cup, which I love the World Cup. Canada is never here. This is a huge deal. I may or may not be having it on my little iPad underneath you, Ryan. So I'm going to be updating. I might be screaming out of nowhere if things are happening, because so far, 16 minutes into this match, playing fairly well, and I'm proud of the boys.
Yeah, I'm expecting, midway through this recording, you're just going to start like, oh no, what did they do? It'll be great. And so the audio listeners, if that happens, what's going on. But also, Sean, it's poignant to know that on free feeds when this comes out, because it'll come out on Thursday.
Yes.
For free feeds. I also want to, step outside Canada for just a second and just say happy Thanksgiving to all of our listeners listening in the United States, because today is Thanksgiving in your country. So we wanted to acknowledge that, of course, the real Thanksgiving.
Yes, the real Thanksgiving. I would call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. Big day for football. I'm guessing people are going to be listening to us, Sean, while watching their football game.
I'm watching my football right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It all ties together. Mm-hmm. It's all pipes.
It's all pipes, man. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Well said. So, all right.
Yeah. Exactly. Plus, we're of course going to talk about Black Friday deals a little bit later. So
yeah. Consumerism.
Let's buy all the things. But before we get into all that, Sean, we got to clean the garage a little bit. So folks at home, if you want to support the show, there's a number of ways you can do that. Number one, if you're watching the live stream, write meow over at youtube.com/carpoolgaming. Or if you're watching the video on demand later, don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and then ding, 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 ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we go live with new videos. Although I do apologize to everyone who had the notification bell on last week for pinging you 3 times a day, because we had so many videos last week, Sean.
Don't apologize. Don't. I know this. Look at you, super Canadian, man. Don't apologize for that. It's what they signed up for.
Yes, exactly. Also, if you want early access to this and all of our shows, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Throw a little tip in the old tip jar so you can get some cool content, like something new that you guys actually did last night for the Nintendo Drive. Y'all actually recorded a post show.
Surprise!
And then it actually went up literally minutes before this live stream actually started. So you can go listen to Sean, Seth, and Lachlan just talk about whatever. I don't even actually know what you guys talk about during that post show.
We were searching for the best deals on the eShop. We took our show back, Ryan. I know that you stole it on the RPG Cave.
That was an RPG Cave.
Our show.
That was an original idea for our podcast, Sean.
You've never heard anyone do it before?
We never stole that from anyone else. I mean, I'm sure you and Kato would have never done anything like
Definitely
that.
Definitely not. Yep.
Yeah. Go listen to that. And then last but not least, if you want an Xbox Drive t-shirt or another Carpool Gaming branded t-shirt, head on over to our merch store, bit.ly/CPG merch. And also shout out to our patrons who actually voted on our newest t-shirt design.
Yeah.
Sometime soon. So go look out for that as well.
Did you see what it was, Ryan? Did you see which one won?
I saw what it was, but I don't want to spoil it for people.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know if we're ready to talk about it with the fine folks at home.
it has to do with the show, though. People are gonna like it. If you listen to the show, you're gonna like it a lot. It's gonna be good.
Spoiler alert: it's not a weatherman on the moose. It's not that. It's something else.
Brian
Definitely go
Murford.
over there and check that out. But before we do that, let's grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It is time for the playlist. So, Sean, I know you didn't play any games this week, but I have to ask you anyways. What'd you play this week?
That is what a weird sentence. I know you didn't play today, but I have to.
Look, I needed to cough, and I needed the section to cough.
Good
so
out. I'm playing Mario plus Rabbids on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm enjoying it very much. And I need to finish it so that I can jump on a review with Seth and Garrett. And that's basically it, man. I have also been playing, if this counts, and maybe we'll talk about this a little bit later, buyingthingsonline.com.
It's a good game that I'm also playing as well. I'm also playing the Buy Things Online game. It's fun.
One of the things is hidden back here. There's a new SSD just kind of sitting behind me. I just got it set up over here. But I'm scouring, my friend. I'm going through all of the deals. I think Dying Light is going to be up on there. I actually think The Witcher 3, based on the new trailer that went out, I think I might be picking that guy up. And a bunch of other, dude, I bought a game from like my youth from like 1995 on a PC game. It's called Raptor. It's like a arcade style, like vertical shoot 'em up. And my goodness, it was 50 cents. This thing was like 98% off. And I bought that. There was a 2012 edition or something, and then a classic edition. I bought them both, and it brings me happiness, man. So I'm not playing games.
Like Sean, they're basically paying you to take that away.
I can't afford not to do it, man. I am playing the game of collecting games. That's where I'm at.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta catch them all, Sean, as one might say.
I don't. I took that game back.
That's true.
Yep.
I mean, just like I had the double pack pre-ordered, and I actually ended up canceling it.
Good for you. Yes.
Yeah, and I haven't bought it yet.
So we're not standing for that around here.
Well, you can definitely tell that we're the Xbox versus, Seth and Lachlan, who actually held on to the game, because they're the true Nintendo.
Because they're part of the problem. That's why.
That's true. You guys talked about that last night. As for me, I just played a bunch of things here and there. But I did, of course, review the Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil and Me. I actually did 2 playthroughs of it for the review. I actually did the playthrough where everyone lived, and then a playthrough where everyone died. So you can actually go hear my full thoughts on that game on my review on the channel. But I actually liked it more than I thought I was going into it. And what I liked about it too, and why it stood out to me, was because we don't really get we get a lot of horror games. We don't get a lot of horror games in like the slasher genre in the way that you'd get something like a Halloween or a Friday the 13th. Besides, Friday the 13th, the game, or Dead by Daylight, but those are multiplayer experiences. But when it comes to single player games, we don't really have like games in that space. So it was actually really refreshing to get like a Halloween style slasher experience, but in a single player like story based game. So I actually really enjoyed my time with it. The characters kind of suck, and it's still a Dark Pictures Anthology game, so it has its pluses and minuses when it comes to that stuff. But I had a lot of fun playing it, and the ending where everyone dies is so good. So I actually really enjoyed it. So if you like the Dark Pictures Anthology games, I actually recommend checking it out. It's one of the better ones for sure, up there with House of Ashes from last year, which I also really enjoyed. But then, boy howdy, Sean.
Howdy.
Black Friday is happening right now. So, of course, all of the Sims 4 expansion packs were on sale for 50% off. So people know I own, a few of the expansion packs so far, but I didn't own all of them. Well, now, Sean, I own all of the Sims 4 expansion packs. It costs less than $100 to kind of round out my collection. So now I have the full Sims 4 experience. Let's go ahead, John.
Wait a second. So you already had a bunch of them, like almost all of them, and then for you to say just under $100 to round out the collection, like how much is there to buy with this stuff?
So they actually release. I think there's like 13 or 14 big expansion packs, and they're all usually $50 each. But your boy managed to get them for a lot cheaper, and they add all kinds of crazy stuff to the game. There's also a lot of smaller content packs for the game, like different outfit packs or stuff like that, like very small things. I didn't buy any of those because I just don't care about a lot of the little things that are there, especially because they also did a collab this week with Mass Effect where they actually added Mass Effect clothing to the game. So my character is now decked out in like a Mass Effect hoodie and my outdoors hooded outfit has like a Mass Effect toque to go outside in the snow. So yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that they added with the expansion packs themselves, though, add like completely new features and stuff to the game. So now, my character has decided to go back to school to go pursue a new career. So I'm going to university right now. I'm living in the university dorms, mingling with other students, trying to resist the urge to turn them all into werewolves along with me, while also, leading my career as like a master criminal, because I'm also leveling up the master criminal path at the moment. And then, of course, there's now weather and holidays now. So, like, we just ended up celebrating Christmas in the game, and we're having, like, snowball fights out in front of the university now. And that, of course, is on top of all the other stuff before, where I'm still taking, like, daily trips to space, to other planets, and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So, of course, The Sims 4 is a thing. It's happening. And it will never stop at this point, Sean, because now there's just so much more to do in The Sims 4 that I don't know if I need other games at this point.
That's what I'm wondering, actually. At what point do we just have like a Ryan's Sims channel just dedicated to that entirely?
I don't know if we need to do that, because I feel like now that we have The Sims 5 announced, we know that there's another expansion pack coming for The Sims 4, but beyond that, the content might be winding down for Sims 4. So
well, we'll see. This is the first conversation of many conversations where Ryan eventually leaves Carpool Gaming to become a solo artist and a Sims exclusive streamer.
The artist formerly known as Ryan Turford.
Brian Murford. Yeah, exactly. YouTube.com/Brian Murford. Better lock it down. I'm taking it on Hive, actually. I mentioned yesterday on the Nintendo Drive, I'm going out and taking everybody's names on Hive. So better get on there, man.
You just show you have a list of names?
Just to be mean.
Of course. You're not actually going to troll people for people going to Hive.
Actually, I can't do that because you have to have like an actual email address, I'm sure, to do that. And I don't want to use up any good email addresses for that.
Yeah, clearly. Whereas I actually signed up for Hive just to reserve my name, because I don't know if you knew this, Sean. There's another Ryan Turford out there.
I didn't know that.
Who signed up for Twitter a couple weeks ago, and they're Turford Ryan on Twitter. And I feel like I might have to actually look out for my name on other platforms if I don't have it reserved already. It's
a good idea. Somebody took iJustine before iJustine got there, so she's now iJustine.
Oh my god,
that's the real iJustine on Hive. It's a 5 instead of an S. It's like, that looks fake. That looks super fake, dude.
It looks super fake, but it's the real one. And
that's
of course,
her.
No one's verified yet, so who knows? It's the wild flesh.
It's a mess. So it's an absolute mess.
I'm not putting my eggs into that basket yet until we do it. But we have Carpool Gaming. On Hive, so go check us out over there. But enough about Hive, Sean.
Yeah, good call. What are we talking about?
Let's slam the brakes on this conversation. It's time for some breaking news. So first up, this first story actually inspired me to come up with the title for this episode, which is Hyperkin wanted to celebrate the 17th birthday of the Xbox 360 in style. So I don't know if you remember, Sean, but Hyperkin actually put out during the Xbox One generation the Duke controller for the Xbox One to play backwards compatible games with.
Of course.
So what they decided to do this time is they're celebrating the 360's birthday by announcing the Xenon, a replica of the Xbox 360 controller that is fully playable on Xbox Series X and S, as well as Xbox One and PC. There is no release date at this time, but you can expect a similar build to the Duke controller, is what they said. Also, they showed off a picture, which is actually the picture that we have for the thumbnail of the controller. And it actually has all of the Xbox like share buttons and start buttons on it as well to kind of match the new controller. So all of that's there. So it has all the functionality of a new controller, but it's in the style of the Xbox 360 with like the Xbox 360 like mushy D-pad that's there, the circular thing that I hate so much because I hate the D-pad on the 360 controller. But especially like I think this is a controller that is really going to sell well because people are nostalgic for that controller. We see people all the time design labs controllers with the Xbox 360 design on them. I think people are like, I think it's the right time to release a controller like this. But what do you think, Sean? Are you excited at all for, an Xbox 360 branded controller to come back? What do you think about this?
I am torn on it. I agree that people are nostalgic for this sort of thing, but I think I have a couple of thoughts very similar to the Duke. It would be one thing if Xbox was releasing the controller and kind of like was reliving the nostalgia in that way. But this is still third party, and for better or for worse, I grew up in the 90s when you didn't want a third party controller. You didn't want to be the last on the friends list getting the Mad Catz controller or whatever, like with the turbo button. Like it's not the same. That's number one. I think number two is also, like, to your point, like when I saw the picture, and like all I can think about with this 360 controller, which I'm holding right now, is squishy. Like it's not like peak controller. I don't think that it was maybe at the time, but certainly now, like we're 2 generations since then, and there's nothing really that I miss particularly about this controller. Like because the controller now is so similar, it's just better. So I don't know that I need to really go back to this. The color scheme is maybe all I would really get out of that, but like I don't know. What about you, dude? Like, 'cause I'm pretty middling on it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same camp because I was actually pretty excited for the Duke controller because it is so different.
It's just ridiculous.
Modern controllers, and I actually have larger hands. Like I have really long fingers.
Humble brag.
So having a large controller, like the Duke, even though it's like uncomfortable for people with small hands, for someone like me, it's actually very comfortable to play games on the Duke. So that's why I was actually excited to get that controller, because I was like, oh, I can play original Xbox games with the Duke controller on my One X at the time, and I actually had fun with that controller a lot. But for this controller, you're right, absolutely right. Like the modern Xbox One controller is so good, or even the modern Series controller is so good. I don't know why I would ever want to go back to the 360 controller unless I'm playing an Xbox 360. Which of course you have to at that point. But Xbox 360 controllers are becoming harder to find now. But of course, this doesn't work with the 360.
That would be the only other thing, right?
Yeah, I would have been more excited if this worked on an Xbox 360. Then I'd say, okay, that's a good reason to pick this up, especially. I never want to see the Xbox 360 controllers be in the state that the PS3 controllers are right now, where, to get a controller that works with the PS3 properly is such a hard thing to do now, because they're actually super rare to find because the rechargeable batteries in them have all died, and of course you can't replace them. So, yeah. So the Dual Shock 3 controller is like super expensive to find now. So I never want the state of 360 controllers to ever get to that state. So I would have loved this idea more if it would have been like a 360 controller that can also play on modern consoles as well, even if it's just by USB.
Agreed. Yeah.
But yeah, I even still, like, I like the idea of other companies exploring the space a little bit. And to your point, Sean, I would love it more if Microsoft was, doing this kind of thing where they were celebrating this more, in them, reprinting old controllers like this. Like, I would actually love Microsoft to go back and do like a controller S from the original Xbox with, the modern, to work with modern consoles. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, well, and especially because Design Labs gets you most of the way there anyways. Like, why wouldn't they just kind of have like a Xbox? And they have the camouflage ones, and they have new controllers coming out all the time. Why wouldn't they just go, this is our 360 controller? It's just, I get it with PlayStation and Nintendo, like they don't really have that locked down. Although you can still, I just bought a 64 controller that works for the Switch, so that's exciting. But yeah, that would get me a little bit more excited. I think it is just the Hyperkin thing, which is probably unfair, but that's just my own flaw, I guess.
No, and as someone who's used Hyperkin products before, they're hit and miss. Sometimes they're awesome, and sometimes they're not good.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a mixed bag. Like, this is the type of thing where it's like you might want to wait for reviews to come out, and if the reviews are good, then I'd say kind of look into this type of thing. I
think it's a shelf item at best for me. Like, it's just something like you have up there. But again, like I have the OGs. I got the white one. I got a black one here. I've got a remote control, Ryan, the DVD remote. I think this came with my HD DVD player. I got it right here, man.
I actually had one of those, which came with my Xbox 360 system.
Nice.
If you remember at launch when you got the more expensive SKU, it actually came with the media.
Oh, is that where this came? That's probably where this came from.
Well, no, that same controller also came with the HD DVD drive as well. So
there's something caked on here. I'm not sure what that is.
Because that was only like a launch window promotion that they did, and then after the launch window, they stopped including the media remote.
Very cool. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff here because I know we're going to be talking about this. But
the best part is the media remote, Sean. You can play any game with the media remote because it has all of the normal Xbox 360 controls on it.
Yep.
So
even has like a Windows Media button. It has like a little Windows. Yeah.
Well, because when the 360 launched, it had like the Windows Media server
cool.
app installed on it in case you had like Windows Media Center operating system PC.
Mm-hmm.
So that was back when Windows XP had the version of XP that came with Microsoft, Media or
It's the
Windows
future.
Media Center.
We were in the future, dude. Look at that.
I know. I could stream all of my anime MP4s that I may or may not have gotten from other websites from my computer to my Xbox, and it was a magical thing, Sean.
I like it.
Let me tell you what. But anyways, we'll move on because we'll come back to the 360s.
Okay, I'll put this stuff away then.
Yeah. We're going to talk real quick about the Dark Pictures Anthology again, Sean, because we got the announcement of the next Dark Pictures Anthology game. Because, of course, when you finish a Dark Pictures Anthology game, what they do is they put a trailer in to announce what the next game is. So that's kind of when we find out what the next game is going to be in the series. And they announced that the next chapter is going to be called Directive 8020, and it's going to be a sci-fi horror game. It'll launch sometime in 2023. The only hints that we kind of have is something goes wrong on the space station. The crew, for some reason, is attacking each other. And then one of the dudes can die while going out on a spacewalk. Because you can find like a picture in The Devil and Me that usually, showcases like how the characters in the current game that you're playing will die. But they always throw in like a hint is like, here's how one of the characters in the next game could die. So I thought that was really interesting that they kind of teed it up a little bit here. But it looks really cool. I love sci-fi horror, so I'm actually pretty excited about this because I'm excited to see what Supermassive can do with a sci-fi horror game because they've never, done sci-fi horror at all. All of the Dark Pictures games have all been very grounded on Earth with, extraterrestrial or, fantastical elements to them. So I'm actually pretty excited for this next game. Whereas, Sean, I know you're probably not interested in this.
I kind of wish they came to Game Pass just as a package. Like, I don't know if that's just me, or I don't know if that's unfair to think or whatever, but yeah, I think every time somebody brings up these games, it's always with like a caveat. It's always with like it's good, but it's like you kind of even said it yourself earlier. Like it's just another one of these games, and like it's not the most glowing endorsement to like have me stop what I'm doing and go play that, which is too bad because this is probably one of the more compelling ideas or premises for one of these games that, for me personally, I love space, and like who doesn't want more sci-fi horror? I'm down, even with Callisto Protocol and Dead Space Remaster and all these things coming out. I'm good with it. So the setting is cool, but I kind of just feel like these would be great as we're all are coming to Game Pass. Would be so cool.
Yeah, and they have, brought them to Game Pass before, but they actually left Game Pass to then go to PlayStation Plus over on the PlayStation side.
Boo!
But yeah, you're right. Like these would be like the perfect type of, Game Pass day one kind of games. But they're also not full price games either. Like I think they're only like $30 in the States or $40 here. So
yeah, and I'm not even screaming for like day one. That would be great, but that's not necessarily what like just as after a year or something, they just get like added or something. That would be fine with me.
Especially now that they've wrapped season 1.
Exactly.
The Devil in Me was the last game in season 1, and then this new game is kicking off season 2. Like so maybe like in 6 months I would love to see them put all of season 1 on Game Pass. That'd be pretty cool.
Or Black Friday sale. I'm not picky. I don't need it just my way. Like I'll take something. Like dude, there's a Doom franchise pack that even though all these games are on Game Pass on Steam, I want to go buy all the freaking Doom games, man. Like just put all these things together. I'll buy them all.
For sure.
I won't play them, but...
So, Sean, speaking of Black Friday, we should segue to talking about Black Friday. Because Black Friday deals with multiple S's are happening right now. But Sean, before we get into this, asked me to do something specific.
Yes.
He wants me to explain to him Resident Evil. So he pulled up all the Resident Evil games that are on sale, and I've actually got them written down here with Canadian prices, mind you. So all these prices are in Canadian dollars that I'm going to read off. So we've got Resident Evil Deluxe Edition, Deluxe Origins Bundle, which is Resident Evil 1 and 0 for $9. And then we've got the Raccoon City Edition of Resident Evil 2 and 3 for $18.74. And then Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition for $23.99. The Resident Evil Triple Packs of Resident Evil 4 through 6 for $24.58. The Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 Bundle for $21.39. The Resident Evil Code Veronica backwards compatible Xbox 360 game, which is $4. And then we've got Resident Evil Village, which is the normal version for $37.99, but the gold edition of that game is $59.99. It's not on sale, but that's just the normal price for it. So, Sean, what did you want to know about Resident Evil? What do you want to know where to start with these games? What to pick up? What do you think?
Well, and I don't even know if I'm going to actually get any clarity out of this because you just listed off a bunch of games. I'm like, what is even happening? What are these words? What do they all mean? Is there a timeline I need to be worried about? So I want to just paint a little picture for people as why this has come up, because I love Black Friday, end of year type of sales, and I'm a sucker for just spending an extraordinary amount of time. I should be playing way more games. It's not like I actually have zero time, but a lot of my free time has been spent scrolling through lists and stuff like that, which is embarrassing, but whatever. This is where I get my joy from. You don't judge me. So I'm scrolling through stuff and, seeing kind of the usuals and scrolling down, and all of a sudden like 75% off a bunch of games, 80% off some of these games. Like, what are these? Oh, Resident Evil. And then I just keep scrolling. And there are what is this, the Land Before Time? Like, how many Resident Evil games do we need? What are remasters, all this stuff? So I want to know, because I can't turn up such a great deal on all this stuff. Can you just tell me what's what? And what?
Yeah.
What's the game? Like, are there some of these that are the games that I played back on PlayStation? Does that exist? That might be a great place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, the ones that would be the older school style games would be the Resident Evil Deluxe Origins bundle, which is 0 and 1, which are games with tank controls. Resident Evil 1 obviously was a PlayStation 1 game, and then they did this is the GameCube remake that they basically ported to modern consoles. And likewise, Resident Evil 0 was a GameCube exclusive that they then ported to modern consoles, which also has tank controls in it. And then also Code Veronica, the one that's $4, the Xbox 360 one, is also in the same vein. It's also tank controls because it was a sequel to Resident Evil 3 that was on the PS2 originally. So we got those. Those are the tank control games. Those are the old PS1 style games if you're looking for that.
Got it. Okay.
As far as Resident Evil, the Raccoon City edition, so if you don't own Resident Evil 2 or 3 Remake, first of all, I think that's actually the best bundle. If y'all
Which one?
Played those games before, the Raccoon City Edition, which includes Resident Evil 2 and 3 specifically.
Where the heck is that?
It's a bundle. Or if you just click on Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3, do the show more versions. It'll have it there listed there. That basically includes the deluxe edition of Resident Evil 2 Remake, and then Resident Evil 3 as well. And those games are amazing. Those are the games that I've been ranting and raving about for the last couple of years. I love them. They're really, really good remakes. So that's probably my pick from this set of games. And then,
okay, so I already have 2 and 3. I bought that last year. 2 and 3. These are the remakes with Mr. X or whatever crashing through.
Mr. X. Yeah.
And what's the other stalking?
Nemesis.
Thank you. So that's 3. Okay, got it. So Code Veronica is not a remake, but it's from the olden days, and it was a sequel to the 3rd game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's basically just a PS2 game that you play on your Xbox.
Okay, got it.
Believe it or not.
So far, so good.
So then next up, we've got, the Resident Evil bundle, which is Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. Honestly, you can just skip these. You don't really need them because Resident Evil 4 is great. I mean, even at $9.99, getting the original version of Resident Evil 4 is great, but we've got the remake coming out in 4 months. I don't really think that y'all actually need this.
Okay, so that's the triple pack. It says it's listed as the triple pack. I just want to make sure I'm using language that people can find and that I can even track down here. So this is $19 US, the triple pack.
Right. Where it's $24.58 Canadian. And for that price, you don't need it, especially because Resident Evil 6 and Resident Evil 5 kind of suck. So you don't really need to play those. But then next up, we got the Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 bundle, which includes Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, which are like spin-off games, but they're very like third-person-y survival horror games, similar to Resident Evil 4. So
were these on 3DS?
The first one was on 3DS.
And I think you need like the C stick or whatever, the thumbstick thing you had to add on.
Pack Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to add the boat to your 3DS to play that one. But they did do a modern port to it, which actually started with a Wii U port, and then they took the Wii U port and then brought it to other consoles.
Got it. Okay, so this is $15.99 US for the 2 games. Yeah. Still seems like a good deal.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good deal as well. Those games, I don't think they're as fun to go back to as Resident Evil 2 and 3, but they are good games.
Okay.
So I think they're worth a pickup.
Okay.
And then of course you got Resident Evil 7. Yeah. Amazing game, but only the gold edition is on sale, but it has which includes all the DLC.
Biohazard's on sale.
Oh, when I went to the Xbox store today and looked at it,
$7.99 US.
Oh, well there you go.
$15.99 for the gold edition.
Okay. Well, if you're willing to pay the extra $7,
No.
the DLC is actually worth it from the gold edition.
Oh, is it
I
really?
actually think the gold edition is actually worth checking out. And the DLC actually usually on its own is usually like $40 to $50.
Belgium just scored. Ah,
good game.
dang it. Son of a gun.
sorry.
That's okay.
And then last on the docket, we got Resident Evil 8. So the newest game in the series. It's on sale for $37.99, but it is not worth that price because you should just buy the gold edition for $60 instead. $60 Canadian, because it includes the extra DLC that just came out like 3 weeks ago in the Shadow of Rose DLC, which is a really cool epilogue to the game. It also includes the third person mode, which actually really improves the way that the game plays. So you can actually choose first person or third person for Resident Evil 8. And I actually really enjoyed my replay of the game with third person mode. So I actually encourage checking that out as well. And then includes a bunch of mercenary content as well if you want to do like the mercenaries kind of arcadey mode.
So Resident Evil 8 doesn't show Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 8 is Resident Evil Village. And I hate that they did that. Put the 8 in there. Dang it, I can't keep track of this stuff.
But they did. They put the Roman numeral 8 in the Village.
Only in the graphic. That is too clever, and I do not appreciate it. It is confusing to me. I am a simple man. I need to be able to follow along with this stuff. And it doesn't look so great when you have a alphabetically or numerically organized list, and then 8 doesn't know where to live, and it's a mess. So thank you for explaining that. Ryan, what the heck is Resident Evil 0?
Resident Evil 0 is a GameCube exclusive game that it's
anymore.
A prequel to other Resident Evil games, and it uses tank control. So it plays similarly to like the PS1 Resident Evil games.
$4.99 on sale right now. Okay. And then Resident Evil, like nothing. Like this is the original one. This is what you explained to me before. $4.99. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, if you don't own those,
not a remake,
and you want to buy them, just buy the bundle that for $10. I think it's worth it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It also includes some DLC costumes and stuff like that too. That helps you spice up the gameplay a little bit, Sean.
And then Resident Evil 4 is the Wii game, the GameCube game, just up-res?
It's the GameCube game, just up-res for
okay. Because is that still coming? Is a remake coming from that one?
Yeah, it's coming out in March.
Sweet. Oh, yeah, okay. I can't remember what's rumor or what was actually
It's only like 4 months away at this point, so I'm like, Resident Evil 4 is a great game, but at this point, if you've never played it, just play the remake.
Oh, but those are all good. Dude. I don't know what to do with this information you've given me. I probably will just...
If you want my picks, Sean, especially knowing you already have Resident Evil 2 and 3, I would say Revelations 1 and 2 is good.
Yep.
And then if you've never played Resident Evil Village, I think Resident Evil Village is really good. And just get the gold edition that's on sale. Or just wait for it to go on sale later in the year, because it'll probably go on sale on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I don't need it right now. But this is a series that I obviously, because I need to ask you about it, like I don't have a thorough knowledge of it, but I have an appreciation for it. So I kind of want to make that a little bit more equal, if you know what I mean.
And just so you know, Sean, there's a storyline that happens through all the games, but they're actually pretty standalone for the most part, because, for example, if you start with Resident Evil 7, yes, there are some small hints to things that happened in previous games, but you can totally enjoy that game just fine without playing any of the other games.
Neat.
But Resident Evil Village really ties into Resident Evil 7, so you should play that one at least first. So.
Got it.
Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 7, if you've never played it as well, is actually a good one to add to.
I have played that one. Yeah.
Okay, good. So, there you go.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I think I played 4 and 7. I think that might be all I played. Oh, and 2. I did Leon. No, not Leon. Chris. Chris's playthrough for Resident Evil 2. I never did Claire.
Yeah. Well, it's actually Leon, but not Chris. But yeah, you're on the right track. You had it right the first time, Sean.
Damn it!
I thought you were talking about a different game.
No, I'm just an idiot. I don't know, man.
Because Chris also has playthroughs in other games. But yeah, so there you go. But besides other games on sale, I just wanted to highlight real quick, of course, we got, the RPG of the year, Gotham Knights, $53.99. That's out there. NHL 23 is also $53.99. That's a pretty good price for that. If you want every single Mega Man game ever made, the Mega Man 30th Anniversary Bundle is $40. And that's like $200 worth of games right there. You've got Tales of Arise.
Yes.
$32. The Cowabunga Collection is $29.99 if you get the
That's physical, in my cart.
It's $34.99 digitally. Valkyria Chronicles 4, really amazing, strategy RPG. It's $10. You've got WWE 2K22, which came out earlier this year. That's $30. The Ukulele Buddy Duo bundle, which has the original ukulele and the Impossible Layer, that's $12.
Oh, so good.
The Impossible Layer you can't buy on its own for sale because I think it's like $49.99 if you buy it on its own. So get it in the bundle with regular ukulele. You've also got the BioShock the Collection for $12.
Yeah.
The Castlevania collections are both on sale. So Castlevania Advanced Collection is $15, and then just the Castlevania Anniversary Collection is $5.19 for 10 games. You've also got Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, which is $14. That's one I actually snagged because that's actually cheaper than just buying the DLC by itself. Diablo 2 Immortal is $30.
I'm going to be buying that. Yep.
Yeah. Sonic Origins Deluxe Edition is $30, which now it's actually at a price that I can fully recommend that game to people because I really like that collection. I came out there earlier this year. And as well, the last game I wanted to throw out there is the Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Edition. That's $26.79. That includes all 3 Tomb Raider games with all their DLC. So there you go. Look at that. Look at us, Sean, saving people money. But now we got 10 minutes left, so I'm like, oh my God, we got to get to questions. So let's jump into questions now because we have this question from Blaze Knight from last week, Sean, that we promised we would answer. It's going to take a bit to get through this one. So Blaze Knight asks, it's time to plan a wedding. You and your significant other are getting married, and you need an efficient groomsman, bridesmaid, a ring bearer, and a flower child. However, they all need to be from games playable on Xbox. Who are you picking for your wedding, and why? So I'm going to go first with this one. Of course, to give Sean a little bit of time to think about this one. So my officiant for the wedding will be Ryu Hayabusa, just because he's a ninja. He likes to, give long speeches and stuff like that. So I feel like he'd do a good job with that. The bridesmaids would actually be the Demetress sisters from Resident Evil Village, because they're creepy. They may be creepy witches, but they love each other like a family, and you'll love them too. Everyone loves the Demetress sisters. The ring bearer will be Frodo from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, because he's already a ring bearer already. Why not just have him do it at a wedding? And then the flower child will be one of the piñatas from Viva Piñata, because why not? So, Sean, what about you? What is your wedding party look like from characters based on Xbox games? Games on Xbox.
What a great question. Something I've been thinking about for all my life. I've just been waiting for somebody to ask this question. The officiant, it has to be Master Chief. Like, I think that's obvious. He can oversee everybody will hang on every single word. What else do we need to do? Officiant groomsmen. I mean, you got to have Marcus and Dom as the groomsmen. They're bros for life. Bridesmaids, probably stereotypical, but Lara Croft wouldn't want anything to do with this, like, at all. Yeah. She would be so far away from this. Joanna Dark. Can I go Joanna Dark on there? Yep.
Yeah, you can throw Joanna Dark in there.
All right, thank you. Ring bearer. I was hoping that you would say Frodo from at least like a Lego Lord of the Rings game.
No, please. We're going OG Xbox with Return of the King, one of the games that appeared on the Crossroads, Sean, one of my favorite Xbox 360 games.
I also feel disappointed in you. I think you're going to be disappointed in yourself as soon as I say what the correct answer. There's really only one of these that has a correct answer.
Oh, okay.
This is Sonic the Hedgehog. The ring bearer. Yeah.
Why? Why did I not think of Sonic?
Face palm for yourself. And what else do we need? A flower child. You said little. I want the little sisters from BioShock.
Okay, that's a good pick too.
Nice and creepy.
Little sisters.
Yeah, before they're saved.
Just creep up your wedding. I'm sure it's fine. and then we got another question from Blaze Knight, and I think this is more of a Ryan Turver question because I doubt Sean's played this game. Blaze Knight asks, "Have you guys played Infinite Undiscovery?"
He's got it right there.
On Xbox 360, is it a worthwhile pickup? So funny enough, Sean, this game might actually look familiar because the last time you were in, or when you were in Toronto for Fan Expo, when we were walking around town with Andrew Watson, we went to my favorite retro game store, and I actually picked this up while we were out together.
Yeah,
exploring Toronto.
That was
together.
A great store,
and I still haven't played this game yet. So I ended up picking it for $10 physically. It's a Square Enix game. I've always wanted to play it, but I've never gotten around to playing it. So, Blaze Knight, unfortunately, I have not checked it out. And I don't know if it's actually a worthwhile pickup. I don't even know how much it is on the store right now. It's probably on sale, but we'll
Sale!
get into that later. And then last but not least, we got Nagachaka, who says, how many Xbox controllers do you guys own? I am very tempted to buy another one since they're $15 off on Black Friday as a dedicated controller for my PC when using it for remote play for my Series S. Would this be an excessive purchase if I bought another controller? Hashtag first world problems. No, you can. First of all, I think there's such a thing as having too many controllers, and I feel like Sean and I maybe have hit that threshold.
I'm close.
I think for you, Nagachaka, I don't think you have enough controllers yet. And yeah, I think this is actually a great use for another controller. Because for me, like when I get a new controller, it's like, well, I'm going to put it on my shelf and I'll probably never use it. Like the Space Jam controller, it looks really good on my shelf, but it's just like, I don't know what I'll ever use this controller for something.
Yeah.
John's got his as well.
It's very sweet. I mean, there's lots of controllers behind me. There's the, like you said, the Space Jam one. We gave one of them away, didn't we? I gave one to you and we gave one away for...
we gave away the Goon Squad one.
Was that for Extra Life or it must be a YouTube goal of some sort, I think?
Yeah, it was when we reached, I think it was 500 subs.
Oh, I remember those days. That was cute. Yeah, I've got the Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is one of my favorites. I mean, kind of last gen, but the Gears 5 controller that came out with the One X is spectacular. It's so nice. I have the 20th anniversary controller down there. So yes, you can never have too many. And the idea of having one specifically for your PC, I think is actually very smart. You don't lose it. It can just like I actually do the same thing. And I don't even have batteries for this one. I just plug in a USB because I'm just here at my PC anyway. So there you go.
There you go. So yeah, I think Nagachaka, this is the price, the time to jump on them.
Big
they're
time.
not going to get much cheaper than that for a long time. Even during Boxing Day, they'll go on sale again, probably for the same price. But I would just grab them now if there's a controller you got your eye on, because I think you've got a great reason to grab one. But and yeah, to answer your question, I have a ton of controllers. I probably have like 10 Xbox controllers. And
yeah,
like I will never have 10 people over at my house, so I don't know why I have so many controllers.
Well, they're all for us, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, Sean, I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, we got to get going.
We got to go.
Sean Plugs Go.
I want to know, first of all, people can leave comments below, join the Discord especially. I want to know what else people are buying on Black Friday. I am encouraged by the consumerism. I'm shameless about it, man. Support us on patreon.com/carpoolgaming. We'd love to have you over there. And also, the Backtrackers, we are playing Return to Monkey Island for the Backtrackers. We are meeting on December 17th. Join us on Discord. It's the best thing. I said this on the Nintendo Drive, I think, yesterday. I'll say it here as well. The Backtrackers is probably the best content that you're not consuming that's not really content at the Carpool Gaming community. It's the best thing ever. You guys should definitely join us. But for me, I'm not on Hive. I'm on Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. We are halfway through this Canada-Belgium game. Canada's down 1-0, Ryan. But that's it for me, my friend.
And there's only one goal per game, so clearly that's
it. It's all over now. Pack it up.
You can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. You can find us on Twitter at Carpool Gaming, on YouTube at youtube.com/Carpool Gaming if you're listening on audio feeds, and on podcast services around the globe. So for Sean Capri, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 267 of the Xbox Drive. And we're out. Bah!
I can't wait to hear all the amazing stories of everybody. Did you just stop doing the bah? Did you just what are you?
I'm still going.
You're like cutting out a little bit there. You sure you did the bah?
I was doing the bah until you.
Okay, bye, bah.
Greater than X.